You must resist it. It will consume you. It will consume all.
So he was never originally. So Vecna and Henry are two different people. Henry was just an evil kid. I don't know how the frick he met that man in the cave. But that man had the stone that had Vecna inside. So he then became Vecna. But he was never Vecna to begin with. Okay, that's good to know. Wow, that was real creepy, just exploding his eyeballs. It was definitely traumatic to go through the whole process again, and then Will watching him go through the process again.
It was never you.
It was Inception. Yeah.
Leave me alone. That's why the Mind Flayer didn't want you in the cave. It didn't want you to remember.
Oh, I didn't.
Said, leave me
He didn't
alone.
want him to remember.
You were just a kid like me, and it used you. It used.
Oh, so Vecna. Oh, so Henry was the first child victim, basically. The stone controlled him to kill the guy with the stone who had Vecna, to then take over, then for him to take over the stone to become Vecna. Gosh, this is like I love when you find out how things actually work in the end. You're like, I get it. I had this with Attack on Titan as well. I was like, I get it now. I get it.
You to bring it here. You're just like me, Henry. A vessel. But you can resist it. Help us fight it. Don't let it win, Henry. Please, don't let it win. No.
So Vecna was never Henry at all. You just made the assumption they were the same person, but it's not. They're separate people. He's just the first person to be controlled. But we were made to believe that he was Vecna. But Vecna is his own separate entity. Damn.
What?
And I'm just seeing a giant bug. I'm seeing a giant ass bug. I don't know what the heck is going on. I just see a giant ass bug. So I just had another understanding. When the stone intertwined with Henry, it went into his blood system. And that's why the scientists extracted his blood to then put into unborn children. So Elle has the same DNA as Vecna in a sense, although it is Henry, but it really is Vecna using Henry. Okay. I'm at the bit where they're trying to get the hive mind, which is the bug, into a corner. And shit, what the fuck is the name? I don't know what the frick her name is. Why have I forgotten her name? Give me a second, because I need to say this point, but I need to remember her name. What is her name? What is her name? Stranger Things. I really don't know. I only know the main characters. But why have I forgotten her name all of a sudden? What is her name? What is her name? Nobody needs Steve. What is her name? Robin. Gosh, why did I forget her name? Robin says at the end, but who's gonna be bait? And I was like, my answer was like, how the fuck are we gonna get up there? I was like, I thought mine made more sense, but I was like, that does make more sense about the bait. But I was like, but how the fuck are they gonna get up there? Because I'm like, I feel like that's the harder bit to get up than to get the bait, in my opinion. Why did I not think that Will was gonna control? I forgot. For a split second, I was like, oh yeah, Will can still control. That really helps. Didn't think of that one. I'm actually crying. I had to pause it before I got to the bit where I know it's gonna be, because I just had to process. Like, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew she's going to have to sacrifice myself, but there was just so much emotion. Like, I cried in episode 7, and Will came out. Because like, it wasn't even the fact that Will came out, it's the fact that like Vecna made him believe that everyone would go against him, which is like so horrible. So he had to like come out to everyone. I was just like, oh my god, that made me cry. I don't know why this didn't make me cry as much. I guess because like it's kind of like it's the typical like, that person has to go save the world, but then they have to sacrifice themselves. So I guess I'm not as crying as much because I've got one tear here, but I just wanted to like process everything before I just press enter and actually just see what I know what's going to happen. So yeah, I will give my opinion, my opinion straight after I've pressed the button. Okay, see you next. Yeah, I didn't think that the Upside Down being destroyed would be that quick, to be honest, in the episode. But I guess now we get to see like 45 minutes of just the aftermath of it all, which is quite nice because normally like it would just end and that's kind of it. You don't really get to see what happens afterwards. So like in some way I do like it, but I guess it's just not the norm normally. Normally like just like the whole big thing happens and that's it. And then you get like a little bit at the end, like 10 minutes, but not 45 minutes. So that's quite interesting. I gotta go for most of like 20 minutes. I don't really have anything really to speak about. But then when I got to the point where Mike was like starting to write about his time with Elle and the Upside Down, it's really good that he's doing that. I think it in some way it will help him to deal with the grief of losing her and have a memory of her in the stories that he writes. But yeah, it's just so sad that he has this guilt, and luckily Hopper kind of got out of him that it shouldn't be his fault, because it wasn't. It was her decision at the end of the day, and it was obviously a tough one. But it was like choosing between being together but living day by day always in fear, or letting them live their lives free but having to sacrifice yourself. It's a hard decision, but it sadly was the right one. But I do hope at some point he learns to forgive himself and at some point moves on in his life. That does now make total sense, because I thought Carol, well, this is still hypothetical because they're just putting this hypothetical to make people think, but it does make sense. I thought Carol was already dead. I think her name's Carol. I'm hoping I remember her name is Carol. But I'm just going to say Carol if it's right or wrong, because I can't be able to Google it. But I thought Carol's dead, but she could have had time. But the time between her dying and then... No, but then... I just don't think that makes sense, because the time between her getting shot and then everything happened at the end where the Upside Down gets destroyed, isn't that such a big time in a big gap in time? That's why I don't think that makes sense. Although it logically makes sense based on like them use the army people using the sound to prevent the powers. But then how would that work? How would that also work? Because yes, it would logically make sense that Elle wouldn't have the power to be in the upside down. How does that actually work? I don't think that really defends anything. I'm kind of confused now because if the speakers to prevent her powers were on, then would none of them be able to do anything? Even if Carol was far away, wouldn't she somewhat still be affected depending on the frequency? I don't know. Now I'm just confused. In my head, I don't think that makes any sense. Wait, I need to go back. What the heck? There's something off about this I'm confused about. Okay, now that I've like rewatched it again, Carol was far away. That's why the frequency couldn't get her, because there is a certain point that the frequency would not be able to hit. And she was in the, was it Suppression Stone? She was around where the power of Vecna was, which would be a barrier to the frequency. But Carol was able to use that power from far away to cover up hiding Elle and then projecting her being in the upside down to make everyone believe she was there when the upside down was destroyed. Okay. That's why you need to that's why you need to reread things sometimes or watch things again, because sometimes the first time you just don't get it. And then you also get to enjoy it a bit longer because you just want to, sometimes the clip is just so good that you process it for the first time, but you don't really truly process it. You just have to watch it again to go through the details and be like, okay, now I understand. Or like, oh, I didn't realize how powerful it was until I watched it the second time. It's over. It didn't make me cry as much as I thought it would, but it is sad that like they did it like the ending is as if the end the way that they started, and then seeing Holly come down the stairs with her friends to also play D&D and kind of like starting a new generation of it made Mike emotional but also happy at the same time. And yeah, I'm happy that he has this mindset that Elle is somewhere far away, safe and at peace. You know, the sad thing about life is grief is the price you pay for love. And that's what's happening. Like, she might not be dead, she might still be alive, but in order to keep her safe, he has to accept that they cannot be together. You know, in a hypothetical world, maybe in the future she might contact him through her mind, but maybe for now it's just out of safety. She can't, but she might also just be dead. And that's something that also has to be accepted as well. So it's a sad one. I had the same feeling when it came to Attack on Titan and accepting that Eren had to also be killed, but that one was like you knew he got killed. It was clear, but it was just sad because Mikasa had to do it, you know. But I think sad endings are always a good thing. I know a lot of people only like happy endings, but you know, if you get to the point that every ending is a happy ending, it's not really a surprise anymore. So it's nice to know there are sad endings, so that you're never predicting what the ending could be, because you could have survived. They could have done it that way. Like with the Duffer Brothers, they constantly post out things of like what potentially could happen. But yeah, I'm happy it ended this way, because that's kind of, you think that was the expected thing. She would sacrifice herself. But you're just always sad for the people that have to lose that person at the same time. But yeah, it was a good way to end Stranger Things. I'm gonna be sad that it's finally over. I know the Duffer Brothers, they posted a video about all the spin-offs, but I'm really not a big fan of spin-offs, to be honest. Like, some of them might be good. I know Nancy Wheeler one might be good, but like, maybe Steve and why is my brain going blank? Steve and, it's not Max, not Lucas, not Will. Oh my god, why is my brain going blank? I have this all the damn time. I can't even like figure out what the heck. It's not Max. It's not me, not Hermione, you. What is it? Oh my god, Dustin. Yeah, Steve and Dustin having their own show. That would be cool. That would be funny. God, I think they'd just be butting heads the whole freaking time. But I think like they also said something about Nancy Robin. Maybe it's mainly about Nancy, but maybe Robin. I don't really know. But yeah, I don't know. Spin-offs. Things should just be kept the way they are. I know they're doing it just to get more money, but yeah, I don't know. Could be a hit, could be not. Like sometimes spin-offs can be good. It really just depends on how well they do it, really. Could be actually pretty good. I can't judge a book by its cover, and also something, it gives me something to watch, so I can't really complain because I need to get off Instagram. I need some restrictions. 30 minutes a day, and then only watching like long content things, because I watch like 3 hours of Instagram reels. Okay, no, okay, it's not all Instagram reels, but a good portion is Instagram reels. It's actually scary how much Instagram I use now. Like I don't use TikTok, but I still watch Instagram, which is basically the same concept because Facebook does it, Instagram does it, YouTube does it. So yeah. Ah, no more Stranger Things. But I'm happy. The only thing I'm really happy about is that I didn't like commit to like watching it when it came out, season 5. And the only reason that happened was because I basically rewatched all of season 1 to season 4, and then I got so bored of it because I was like, oh my god, this is way too much. I've watched way too much in a short amount of time. That I just needed a break. So it kind of worked out that I just couldn't be asked to watch season 5. So when the first 4 episodes came out, I was like, nah, I ain't bothering to watch this. Can't be bothered. So I only started watching it when, I only watched it literally, I think on the 27th of December. I started watching the episodes, so I was able to delay everything. So it's the 3rd of January now, and I finished it's technically 2nd going on the 3rd of January. I finally finished episode 8, although I did get a little bit of a spoiler, which kind of sucked, but I was kind of like, you know what, I'm not gonna beat myself up. I knew that was gonna happen, but I still wanted to watch it anyway to kind of like feel what was going on. So yeah, that's really good. It's like what? It's 12 a.m. 12 and a half. Oh my goodness. It's 12:30 in the morning, so I need to go to bed. But this was a really nice discussion I had. I liked finally understanding what was going on. And I hope Elle is somewhere happy and safe. That's all that matters. And I hope Mike will I think he has slowly, but I hope with his story that he's made about her being safe, I hope he forgives himself and doesn't take the blame for what has happened, because that was her choice at the end of the day. She knew that things would never end if she was still existing, or be known to exist to anyone that she knows. So yeah. All right, this was a nice little talk with myself.